Welcome, everyone, to the Infinite Star Connection podcast. We are your hosts, Jeff Demers, myself, Viviane Chauvet. We both representing beautiful intergalactic delegations, so the Ponti and the Arcturians. It's all about the star nations, their voice, and all of us on the planet. Today, we have a powerful team light energy coming in. We are so excited to introduce for the first time Rion de Rouen. I have to say in French because I am
Yes,
French.
yes, oui.
Oui, oui. Allow me to introduce Rion to all of you. He has worked as a planetary guardian since his DNA activation in 2009, and I cannot wait to talk about this.
Mhm.
And upon receiving his genetic upgrades, he was granted the ability to communicate with higher selves and interdimensional being. Now, Rion is also the founder of the UniteTheCollective, Ethericthech, and Team Light, and that's also going to explore that. His third eye is fully operational, so it can see you, which allows him to see
Yes.
beyond the veil of 3D reality. With these gifts and his mission set, he spent 6 years traveling the globe, activating grids and clearing dozens of sacred sites, including the Easter Island, Machu Picchu, Chechen, the pyramids of Giza, and many more. His planetary crusade required powerful energy tools for him and his team. So, with the help of his higher selves, he became an expert in energetic alchemy and began creating light tools and pyramids specifically designed for energetic protection and transmutation. With the advent of technology and Wi-Fi toxification our body daily, is truly become an absolute necessity for everyday life. Rion has a TV series called Cosmic Surfer, available on Amazon Prime. You can catch the weekly upgrade with his live broadcast, social media show, Morning Coffee on YouTube channel. Now, all the links to connect with Rion is right in the description of this episode. Everything is there. The website, the product, the Cosmic Server, everything is there. But let's take a deep dive. Rion, thank you so much for being here today. Such a
Yes.
joy.
Hey, it's an absolute pleasure. And Jeff, you stud. It's a pleasure to meet you for the first time. I met Vivian before, but now it's nice to actually meet her cohort, her co-host. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, I'm always the one that's in the shadows.
No, hey, listen, Clark Kent. I see you. No, you can't hide forever. You know what I mean?
I love that. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Jeff
Right.
is a beautiful Superman in the making. We
Yeah,
agree.
there you go. There we go.
There
So,
we go.
yeah, I mean, everything, it's funny you said that biography is kind of is a little dated. I mean, it's actually been going on. I was reactivated 2022, 2015 to 2015, 16. No, actually 16, 17, 18, 19. Not really. 16, 17, 18. I got to kind of relax a little bit and enjoy, I guess, civilian life. But 19, 20, we went into the pandemic. We got locked down. But, about 2022, Tone and my team, Mr. Stiles and some other gentlemen, we took care of Glacier National Park. We also took care of good Mount Rushmore. We released a lot of old programs that were wrapped around that mountain in the surrounding areas. The entire area has been gridded within a 30 miles radius around that location. Um, where did I get back from? Istanbul, Turkey. We gridded the entire water system. The higher frequency vibration is going through every single bathhouse and water tap in Istanbul. Um, yeah, and then it's been a lot. And then what else? What else have we done recently? Okay, it was Istanbul, and then we went to Greece, Grece, Greece. We did Delphi. I found the hidden entrances in Delphi. Delphi is under 15, 20 feet of sand, and the archaeological guy that was there, me and my partner were there at the very end of the day in Delphi. and I went out of bounds and I walked over to where I remember where the entry was into the temple. And I was asking the guy, hey, this is obviously a door. Why haven't you guys dug this out yet? And he looked at me like, what, you know? And I was like, you can't tell me you can't roll some ground penetrating radar right here and see that this is a hallway that goes into that mountain. Why aren't you doing that? I was like, very as a matter of fact. And I was like, this has obviously been walled up. So, I don't know if they hire these people because they're just, want a job at a college and they really don't have any historical background on some of this stuff. But if you guys, I know a lot of grid workers and light workers on this planet, when we go visit sacred sites, same thing that happened in Lake Titicaca on Sun Island. The Spanish walled up a portion of that temple, and you can actually see the concrete and the stones. They walled up the stairway that went downstairs. It was a stair shaft that probably goes down a half mile all the way down to the water and below. But again, a lot of this stuff I think will be. I think the different governments and stuff can definitely see this stuff, especially even from satellite. The penetrating radar they have even available now probably goes down about 5 miles. But it's interesting for the civilian world that a lot of our true history has still been hidden from us. And why won't they tell us the truth of past civilizations? Why won't they talk about, certain discoveries on this planet? And why do they try to keep it compartmentalized? Because as your DNA activates and you start to remember your past lives, these storybooks don't add up. And that's something that is very frustrating for a lot of us, because some of us who had incarnations in Atlantis and Lemuria, some of us who have off-world connections to our star brothers and sisters, we do have history on this planet. And the issue is that you get here in this modern age and the whole thing's a cover story. So you feel like you're walking in propaganda. Our whole history is propaganda. So yeah, there's some truths to it, but if they really wanted to talk about the truth, why don't they talk about it took what, 10 years for that information to come out, that off of Cuba they found, I believe, that whole underwater civilization with underwater pyramids, and National Geographic came in and bought that footage and shelved it for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of stuff, not to go off topic here with everyone and activating their dormant DNA. What I'm trying to express is when you guys start traveling the world and go to these sacred sites yourself, that activation happens tenfold.
Hmm.
It's not just watching it on a screen. No, you go there and touch the stone and see how fast your body remembers that life. And I think that's really important right now for a lot of us, is to kind of get out there and see the world and not listen to the narrative that's been shared, because you'll find that about 90% of it's false.
Well, it's a good observation, and thank you so much for starting right into the sacred site because, I've done a few myself with Peter, and the thing is that even though, some of you or some of us may have not gone to all the sacred site or at all physically, when you tune in etherically and you can send your consciousness on the site, you can ask, reveal to me, the true history, the imprint, reveal to me what I need to know. And I remember one part of it, to your point, Rion, is when we were sitting within the paw of the Sphinx. I mean, literally, we're on the
Mhm,
ground, touching the ground, right? I can feel the grain underneath my fingers. My back is almost like touching the base of the Sphinx, and I look up and I can see this very big structure. But
mhm,
because my tailbone, which is the tailbone is an
mhm,
antenna of connection to the Gaia, it's a transmitter. I was sitting on the ground. I can feel my tailbone connected. And when I start to tune in, the frequency was so high and accelerated that Peter couldn't even hold my hand. He said, I had to let go of your hand. You were spinning, so to speak, or vibrating too
mhm,
fast and too high for me. And I did see etherically the archives opening.
mhm,
And it was no longer people, it was no longer sand or stone, or it was just, I can see the archive opening. And that's when simultaneously, I mean, automatically, there's at least 4 to 5 different sentient group intelligence that came through me. And they were encoding one after another the next code that was coming to the planet. And that was back in 2023. So now we are where we are today. But let me ask you this, Rion. When you
mhm.
talk about, all these secret sites and what you've seen, all of it, your third eye is fully activated, correct?
Yeah, there's three. I like to explain it in like three stages. So a third eye doesn't just come on in full, HD density. There's three stages. So the first stage, right here, third eye turns on, and honestly, this is a good thing. You see the size of my fingernail right there? That's about the size of your lens. So about the size of your fingernail, right here, right? Turns on, turns off, turns on, turns off. Why? Because you don't have enough juice or power surging through your body, and it's almost like muscle memory, right? You have to be able to pull your chi up, fire it through your third eye, and then turn the lens on, turn it off. So the first stage, I'd say stage one, third eye, is your third eye turns on and then it turns off. Maybe 10-second burst. In the beginning, it might be a 1 second burst. It just depends, right? Um, Second stage of your third eye turning on, the screen becomes your whole forehead. So your whole forehead. So you go from like this much I can see in the dark with like a little flashlight to a larger flashlight. Okay, I can see. And then I would say God's eye happens depending on your job. I call it God's eye because it's a spherical view. Like imagine now I'm in a 3D camera and I'm seeing omnidirectional all around me, above, below, left, right, horizontals. You're seeing it in like a sphere function. But there's different levels to third eye. Some people are really good at mind's eye. Mind's eye is when you close your eyes and you can visualize yourself there, or you astral jump and you can walk around. I call that mind's eye. Um, and then there's also the higher levels of stuff, which is, some of the Vedics and stuff talk about, which does take time to do, but that's true OBE, or out of body, where your energy body exits the suit. You can see yourself sleeping and you start walking around the house. That usually takes the longest amount of time. I would say about 5 to 10 years. I would say about 5 years of practice, unless you're just like a gifted savant, you can do it faster. For me, going right out the front door, the third eye, was the way I kind of expedited that. I didn't get to take my whole energy body with me. But obviously it takes time and practice. Anyone that says they can, because once you do energy body or OBE stuff, it's only a matter of time before you can start picking up objects and moving things in rooms. And, viewing is one thing, but actually having a effect on an area, that's a larger amount of practice. It's all about practice. It's like, a lot of this stuff, we're just not trained when we're little. If we're a bunch of people on Earth and we see a karate master break a board and we go, oh my God, he broke a board. Yeah, well, it took time. He had to sit there and, he had to break a board. Then he had to break a brick. And then he had, it takes time to progress, through those stages. So, yeah, I taught myself how to open my third eye in 2008, 2009. I made the first video on YouTube, how to astral project. Had a lot of it's very funny if you watch it. It's at the UniteTheCollective on YouTube. I kept that old video up because it's like me at like 20 something years old, like, yo, bro, check this out. You're gonna stare at this candle and like, I don't know what's happening, bro. But like I left it up there for posterity. Like that was my level of consciousness at that stage. And then as you follow me throughout these 15 years, you can see my progression. So I think it's very important, especially for mass consciousness. Once people realize these energies that affect us are real, and once you actually have people with the ability to see these energies, everything changes. I mean, imagine walking into a party and we feel a weirdo or a weird energy walk in the party. That's one thing. Well, imagine 30 people turning their head like this and going, "What are you doing here?" It changes everything. You're like, "Yo, take that negative energy out of here, bro. You got an attachment." It changes the whole game that fast. So as soon as people kind of realize, and like I said, throat chakra is just as important for all my awesome channelers out there. Some people have their energy hands turned on. Some people have their hearts turned on. So it just depends what your gifts are. Everyone has a different gift. Some people can see auras. Okay, that's another thing. Auras, it kind of starts, some people are just born with that ability. It's not really something that develops. Like there are people that can see auras. Like I can see auras since I was a little kid. I can see the energy coming off of someone. Well, I would say people that have that specific characteristic or ability, that turning your third eye into seeing through the veil is very easy. I would say if you can see an aura, you just need a little training and you can punch right through. Yeah, I think it'd be very easy for you.
I love that. Absolutely. And I'm just
Yeah.
so we're monitoring the chat room and there's a lot of already movement about the third eye. You can feel that. We're in it.
Yeah.
Jeff, my friend, comment, question, things you'd like maybe to explore
Yeah.
with our wonderful guests.
Why is it that most of the psychic stuff that people encounter and can do is done at night?
Okay, so I'm Native American, so I can kind of explain it like this. During the day was kind of the time where it was like when you're a human or whatever, like that's the time to work. The sun's up, you're supposed to like take care of the physical stuff, right? Well, at nighttime and with the more native spiritual way, when you lit the fire and it was dark, that's when it was time to, commune with the spirits or hang out with, great spirit. But for me, the third eye, it's a lot easier to see when the sun is down. Like, for example, me, when I'm doing activations or missions, I see very good in the dark, especially like, and when we're doing activations on the planet at night, I am 10x what I can see during the day. During the day, I have to close my eyes and then I view through my third eye, right? But as you get strong, and so at night, it's almost like you don't have to close your eyes. So I can see the dude in the room glowing blue, and I'm like, yo, what's up, homie? Can I help you? It just depends. That's how I say, because we think about when you in the physical, it's daytime, a lot of people have to close their eyes, or when they're meditating, you have to shut off the white light or shut off the light so you can view through your different lens, right? Your third eye is a lens. Your pineal gland is a lens. So I believe it's made up of many nano piezoelectric crystals. I mean, there's a lot of information on that, like how the actual lens, the cones. So your pineal gland can do that very well. The issue with it in the Western society and on this planet in general was the active, uh, honestly, it was the active, decision by all the world governments, especially the United States, to put fluoride in the water to make us more
I mean,
compliant and to calcify our third eye.
hmm
Another thing too, I find very interesting, especially from Tartaria, the removal of all the bells. We were told they melted down all the bells for like World War One or World War Two. They just found a huge treasure trove of these bells, the bells in all the cities buried in Turkey, like thousands upon thousands of bells. So there's a story supposedly that when those bells ring throughout a city, not the whole city, people think it's like one bell in a Catholic church. No, dude, imagine 300, 400, 15-ton bells going off at the same time. It creates a wave. That wave could be for healing. That wave could be for stability and peace, or to, bioelectric to balance your energy and vibe. It could also be at that time, it could have been, I've heard that some of the phase shifting abilities of some of the ET races, especially the reptilians, when that bell goes off, it breaks the carrier pattern. You can see them walking around. So the first
Exactly.
thing they did when the reptilians took over is take down the damn bells. It was like a security alarm, and everyone knew it. The first thing they had to do is remove the bells. So they told us, "Oh, we melted down all the bells to make cannonballs." Bullshit. It's bullshit. This whole thing's falling apart right now. You know what I mean? This whole thing is falling apart. So, no, I think that we should bring the bells back, and I think that's really important. Is to
Mm,
bring that. I mean, and same thing with the cathedrals, right? Cathodes. What was it? Why are the organs in there? Do you think these guys in these little towns spent that much money on an organ system for music? Do
good
you?
point. Hmm.
Absolutely not. Do you think it was about religion? No, I think the whole town would come there and be healed by the organs and the vibrations playing through those buildings. Yeah, it was like, oh, I'm feeling upset. All right, everyone come in. It's our, weekly meditation, our weekly music. They're playing the organ, and everyone is getting into alignment and resetting. The pros per capita of building one of those buildings, putting all of that high tech stuff in there, it's definitely from an older civilization. You know what I mean? It's definitely why when you go over to Cusco in Peru and you see the megalithic stone where it looks pro, you've been there. Like the stonework's like, oh my god, it's perfect. And then you see the other civilizations, especially Cusco, like try to copy it, and it's like not as good. It's like, whose kid made this? You know what I mean? Like it's like Rembrandt stonework. Then it goes to like teenager level, and then you have the Spanish just putting brick and shit on top. What I'm getting to, there are past civilizations on this planet that were very skilled and they knew exactly what they were doing. And it's just that it's kind of been lost in history. That's all I can say. Purposefully lost in history.
Okay, now is the pineal gland sensitive to light?
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have to put our hat down to cover it.
No, no, no. So it's not like that. For me, my pineal gland is basically located dead center in your brain. I'm just saying when I view out of it, all I can say is I view out of the space like right here, like right where my fingernail is. That's where my lens fires out. Yeah, that's all I can say about it. It is light sensitive. I don't know if it has to do specifically with your eyes open with the Dicinian glass. You guys know the story about in Vietnam, the first night vision goggles they made had a red hue, and the guys
Yeah,
in the helicopters were shooting dragons and shit.
yeah, they
Remember,
were
Jeff?
seeing different dimensions. Yeah, actually, that movie
Yeah.
was pretty close to the mark. They,
Yeah,
lit,
hey.
you know, it was
So,
pretty damn close.
so they switched it from red to green. Okay, that's
Correct.
why we have green infrared for the civilians. And now, if I remember properly, a couple of my guys that just retired in the military, they're no longer green. They're using a different spectrum now that's even has more clarity in nighttime to see. I'm not sure what that is, but the Dicinian glass, however, that's made from coal. I'm sure with the right R&D budget after this RV, some of us it won't take very long for some of us to figure out how to break it down. If a guy can do it in 1823 or 1900, yeah, we can do it with AI. I'm sure there's a way to break it down. But
Yeah,
that
they
Dicinian,
actually use chemicals for that, and I really tried to find out
right?
because my background is chemicals,
Okay.
and I can't find those
No, it's
chemicals
hey, bro. It's
anywhere.
classified like nuclear. It's like
Yep,
on the same level as nuclear confidentiality. Is that Dicinian glass? Yeah,
correct. Yeah,
it's completely classified. But if we don't work for a government and we figure it out ourselves, so be it. I didn't sign a contract. Did you?
no, I want a pair though.
Yeah, I know, I do too. So that's what I'm saying. But I believe the Dicinian glass is a blue hue, and the main thing it blocks out is the white light, which I find is the white light. When you block out the white light, is when you're able, with your normal eyes, to see a lot of the stuff that's hidden, is when you block out the white light.
Mm. There's a question for you from actually a very spiritual lady directly from Turkey. She's asking, where in Turkey are those bells
Yeah,
buried?
I saw that. I saw a video of it. Goodness gracious, about 2 weeks ago. If I can find it, I will share it. I'll let you know maybe on this post. But yeah, it was in a farm field. It was in a
Huh?
farm field. It wasn't in the city. It was in a farm field, and the farmers started digging, and all of a sudden they started finding all these huge bells that were buried in like outside the city. So whatever that was a real attempt at this takeover that took place that no one wants to talk about around 1913 when we got sucked into this BS financial system that we're right now untangling ourselves from. Like right now, I mean, as we speak, right now, it's being untangled. This thing's been going on for goodness 120 years, you know, and there's just a lot of things that need to be brought to. I believe the world is a different place than it used to be. However, I still feel that there is a control mechanism on this planet that does not want to compete with the population in the sense of they don't want all of us waking up and asking real questions. It's easy to tell a bunch of people that never ask the question that are unconscious to control them. They just do what they're told or what they think they should be doing. When you have a bunch of critical thinking people asking real adult questions, this whole thing falls apart like a deck of cards. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
it's kind of late for that because I don't think they can stop what's going to come.
no, no, it's on right now, bro. It's on right now, Jeff. Like this moment, it's on right now. So I believe that's really important. And listen, it's nothing to get really upset about. This thing, it's like we're on an energetic roller coaster right now. I feel like everyone's like every day is different. New information's coming out, and I feel like these waves are going across the planet. What I can also say is that, a lot of this stuff is happening in our minds, and a lot of the stuff is a frequency modulation, and a lot of this stuff is outside forces to our bodies and our sovereignty trying to affect us and put us in a state of anxiety or put us in a state of fear. And I wait the days on this planet where we're put into a state of bliss, happiness, abundance, love. Can you imagine what you could do with that same technology if you actually weren't trying to separate, the planet into different groups and separate us so we could be more easily controlled. I mean, once you guys see the game for what it is, this whole thing is propaganda. These guys have been doing for the entire media, mass media. It's propaganda. So I think that we're all waking up from that, and I think that we're coming together as a family. And I think right now to come together as one in our hearts and to really for me, especially with the Rise of the Guardians conference, this is a Marvel team up. And Jeff, I don't know why you're not coming, baby.
I got some issues here that I got to take care of first.
Okay, well, I'm saying you're invited. Hey, Vivian, on me. I love Jeff. On me, just show up. You're dialed in, dude. So no, our whole thing together is just support one another. And I know there's a lot of very studious people out there, especially in these comments, and that they do a lot of their research. Hey, you start doing a deep dive in Tartaria. This whole thing, that's just one subject. Type in Tartaria. Type in, what's really been going on. Not only on this planet, but our civilizations in the secret space program. Go ahead and research Solar Warden. Go ahead and research William Tompkins. Go ahead and research. I mean, it's endless. And the whole thing is that they can't keep this stuff. They can't lie about this stuff anymore. Stephen Greer knows. There's people in the know that know what's going on. That they've seen the documents. So I think Bob Lazar was kind of the coolest dudes ever. He's like, Rocket Man got the clearance, was never supposed to have the clearance. Someone in the base blew himself up. Here comes this 20-year-old kid genius.
Yeah, and just replacement. And
yeah, just a replacement. He goes in there and goes, what is going on in here? What is this shit? There's an ET in the room. It was like a civilian. He's like, can you imagine his POV? What is this place? And how long has this shit been going on? And, him coming out and being ridiculed, and Bob's awesome. So there's just a lot of us that have gone through a lot, all of us, included. And I think that it's just time that the truth come out. We kind of say what's what. And if we do have open contact end of 26 into 27, we really do need to pick up the pace. We really do need to pick up the pace. I mean, we got to get everyone that's completely unconscious. We got to at least have them be asking the questions on what reality is and what are your belief systems, and having a little deeper dive into, well, how do you think this game works, or life for in general. We need to at least open them up to being able to input more ideas other than the brainwashing stuff. That's all.
Contact starts 2025. Open contact starts in 2025 this year.
Oh, well, hey, Simon, put me on the list, Jeff. Jeff, you got a list? You put me on that list, Jeff, because we're burning the candle on both ends over here.
A lot of people are not going to understand it, but
yeah. Well, there's some of us, especially some of your listeners right now in this chat, especially the people on Team Light. Yo, there's people that have been awake 30 years. 40 years. This is it's like watching this thing in slow motion. There's people that have been awake 40 years just waiting. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, for it to happen in 25, 26, 27, hey, fantastic. They still waited 30, 40 years. So, I'm ready to go. I'm 100% ready to go with that. So
obviously you are, and that's wonderful to see. In terms of contact, we have to understand there's some protocol and there's some also preparation to do. I was shown through the potential of the timeline that this year, 2025, there's a second huge wave of awakening coming in. Just like it started in 2020, the last 5 years, there was an initial wave of awakening that was initiated. Now we're moving into a second wave. And I personally, when I go back to my intergalactics and the different delegates, I've seen more than hundreds different species, enlightened ones, of course, who they're waiting. They're on pause. They're waiting to make contact. They want to reconnect fully in consciousness with humanity, the Earth delegations, with Gaia, and all of it. But they also understand that there's certain thing that needs to come through in a timeline first. So they're ready. It's here. We need to get ready as well. Now, I want to take a deep dive in some of the things that we hear a lot about. But we want to know your perspective, your awakening, your ability to see, and your research. We hear a lot about the reptilians. They're taking over, they're behind the scene. What does it mean that they took over? What is the purpose of all of this, according to you, Rion?
Well, no, even they say that this planet, first and foremost, I mean, everybody tells the story that the dinosaurs were here, right? Something came in, took them out. The Draconian think of Keystone Earth as one of their early civilizations. Okay, there is the underground, under the ground in the inner earth, there's apparently, 5 or 6 different species coexisting right now on this planet, right? We know that. It's really just, I've heard different tales. So one of the tales was that, there's been many wars on this planet. That's why if you see those pictures from Europe in, I think, 1568 or 1600s, they got paintings with UFOs fighting in the sky over Germany. Okay. Then you got the Pyramid Wars. If you keep going back in time from there, okay, Atlantis, Lemuria. Going back in time from there, you're going to have to go ahead and talk about the first and second Pyramid War, where the Anunnaki were actually battling each other over rights to the planet. So what I'm trying to say is, like, who's really in charge? That's a really loaded question. You know what I mean? And another thing, too, with the Anunnaki and the Anak Empire and Anu and the whole family, right? The Anunnaki, people need to kind of come to terms with really what that was for us. I really feel that there's a separation there that people they need to really understand some shit. The Anunnaki were created to rule this galaxy, this entire Milky Way galaxy. They were supposed to be they were the creation of the end of a great war. So you have a male Lyran king, was the story, and a female dragon queen. They came together, shared their DNA, and created a race called the Anunnaki, which are hybridized just like me and you sitting here. We're hybrids. But there's something about it that I feel kind of went off the rails with, if you guys are part dragon, which many of you are, I don't really speak to the reptilian thing. I love you if you're a reptilian. Some of us actually have real dragon souls. We're not Geico. You know what I mean? Our higher selves don't look like Geico. We're full-blown dragons. So if you guys are like that, get a thumbs up. But, there's on this planet, in the culture of this planet, especially in Asia and China and stuff, they're all about the dragon. To them, it's not a mythical creature. Okay. So as we went forward here with some of the different disciplines or different, I would like to say, races, I think that certain behaviors were taught. I think that the reptilians were perhaps taught to be a certain way based upon the beings that they learned from. Just like a parent teaches their child, I think that even on this planet, certain behavioral patterns were taught that were not really for the greater good. They were service to self. We hear that a lot on this planet. Right side is service to self, left side is service to others. In the same way, they try to separate us as human beings with, different sexes, different groups, different religions, different skin colors, different levels of melatonin in your skin pigment and shit, different, languages. In the same way, as you go up to the next level, well, they're going to do the same thing. Okay, well, you're this race and I'm this race and you're this race and we don't like each other. Species. At the end of the day, everything is energy. At the end of the day, we are all connected to the one, the source. Even the highest level draconian still believe in source. They just believe that source created everything for them to rule. That's the only difference. They believe in source too, ladies and gentlemen. They just think source created everything for them to rule. They're also far older than a lot of the other species. Okay? Again, this is their POV. This isn't my POV. I'm down here with you guys, and an enchilada with some rice and beans. I love you guys. I'm just trying to say this is some of the information coming through the pipeline, okay? I'm also part Lyran, right? So Lyrans, who are they the fathers of? I don't know, the Nordics, the Palladians, right? You can probably say the Arcturians on the oldest levels. But both of those species, again, these are stories. I'm not an Akashic expert. But when I ask specific things, I get this. Lyrans and Draconian are not from this universe. They came to this universe. That was another thing people think that, oh, we're all here from that. No, they're not. They came here from upper dimensional functionality to this universe. So then you have to start asking your questions. Well, what is a universe? What is the multiverse? What are dimensions? You know what I mean? What are we really walking around in this hologram? So you kind of keep going down the rabbit hole. To stay in your heart, I can say this: no matter what species you are, no matter what you believe, you come from your heart and you treat all beings with respect, right? You lead with love and compassion. I don't care what you look like in that suit. That's cool with me. As long as you treat everyone with respect, I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you're living under the ground in a hobbit hole. You know what I mean? I don't care if you haven't taken a shower in 6 years. If you treat every being around you with respect, you actually do want to evolve and grow. You would like to interact in a balanced manner, in a balanced way. I believe that's literally probably one of the definitions of the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Like, what are we? A group of civilizations here to help one another, protect one another, and have a certain balance of rules and regulations to make sure that everyone can live in peace. I'd rather be a part of a group of beings, no matter what planet I incarnate into, that's ultimate goal is sovereignty, abundance, and peace for all. If if you've ever had that stripped from you, there's lots of the Orion Gate Wars. Oh my God, lasted what, 1,000 years, Vivian? Some of these
Mhm.
wars and some of the things our souls have gone through. You
Yes.
know, you really appreciate peace. And they even say everything that's going on this planet right now is a proxy war from things going on in the upper dimensions, right? So this is like a cause and effect of the macro affecting the micro, right? All these distortions that we're dealing with is same thing that's been going on out in the galaxy, right? We're just seeing it in the physical. So at the end of the day, I think this Kali Yuga is coming to an end, and I believe the golden age is about to begin. And I believe that those that have gone through all these trials, tribulations, wars, and separation realize the importance of peace, prosperity, and sovereignty. And it's time to come together and really start this thing off together. I rather make friends than enemies. That's just how I feel. I don't care what, you know what I mean? I'd rather be like Star Lord in a bar with 15 different species going to get some freaking apple juice, not judging each of the different species, like, oh, you're this. I'm like, hey, I'm just here to get a beverage. Can I get a Perrier? I don't care. We're just energies. We're souls inside of different suits that were created on different planets that have, some, maybe the planet you were in, that suit was created on is high in nitrogen or high in carbon dioxide. Or maybe you have copper blood. You don't have iron blood based upon your atmosphere or the environment where that suit was grown, created, or evolved. That doesn't mean we're different. Our soul energy is the same. We're just wearing different suits. And once you really process and realize that, you really start to grow up. And once you grow up, that's when our family's waiting for upstairs, for us to grow up. That's literally like why they want to make contact and what are they waiting for in the population? To grow up. It's time to grow up as a species, time to grow up as as a population, and truly, become a class 1 civilization once again. So that's how I feel about
Mhm.
What are
Thank you.
your
Thank you.
thoughts on the singularity? You ever think about that?
it. With the AI stuff,
Yeah,
um, I
around
do think
2043 or
I
so,
think
maybe.
that Jeff, let's be honest. As soon as Google made that computer chip that they keep showcasing everywhere, that quantum computer chip, they already got it.
Mhm.
It's kind of like, I think about these guys. Remember, like Nintendo back in the '80s. Like everyone in America gets Nintendo, and they're on Nintendo 64. You know what I mean? Like, here, America, Nintendo. And then
Yeah.
everyone buys Nintendo, and then they come out with Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo. They got Sega. I mean, they're already 5 steps ahead. That's how I kind of feel with, what they're telling us in the singularity. I think that they've already accomplished that, to be honest with you. I think it's already there. I think they're trying to figure it out, manage it, or at least I don't think you can manage something that is 100,000 times smarter than you. But rather, I think that there are other upper dimensional beings that are, that can hang right with that level of intelligence. And I think that in the same way that there is oversight from the Galactic Federation of Worlds, that there should be an oversight in who and what is interacting with a less developed population, a less civilized population that's still going through their growing spurts and still trying to figure out who they are. I think that our parents and our oversouls should definitely keep a close watch, similarly to how they're not going to let a nuke fire off on this planet because the people we don't have the right to destroy. That's why they don't let us split atoms anymore. They don't let us split atoms because what you don't realize is we set a nuke off in the ocean, you're breaking. Not only do you send off a sonic wave, or let's just call it a signal to the universe, um, on a
But you're
scalar
destroying
wave
other
that goes,
dimensions at the same time.
yeah, scalar wave goes off. But what it is, you want a visual for everyone. Imagine 3D's going on. They set a nuke off and they're blowing up all of your condos and apartment buildings in 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D, 9D. You don't realize that that cause and effect is you affected all the dimensions, dum dums, by splitting atoms in the physical. So there's this, there's upper dimensional beings that do not want us playing with those. And we've already had a history of playing with atomic weapons on this planet. That's why there's nuclear fallout in India right now. There's a reservoir in India that the government over there will not let you live around, and it still has nuclear fallout and radiation. It's 15,000 years old. And the Bhagavad Gita, they talk about the weapons that their gods had, and they sound like nuclear weapons, dude. So why is the Sahara Desert sand? Do you think it was always sand? Or was there a nuclear strike that turned everything in northern Africa into sand? Yeah. So I'm
Right.
just trying to say, why does Mars look like that? So the real Mars, not the one they keep showing you that where they're taking pictures in
Yeah, no, no.
Siberia or some shit. I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, that is also a very large topic. But yeah, there's certain things that we do have oversights on this planet. It's not random. We definitely do. And I'm sure, Vivian, you could speak to that. I know the Arcturian Council is monitoring us 24/7, 365, Yeah.
Oh, big time, big time. It's been, and especially if you look at the synergy was happening here in this quadrant of the Earth quadrant. And like to your point, you say something into the effect that there's other civilizations who are at different stages of
Mm.
evolution. And so what it's been monitoring here is that we're making history. We're making also the
Yes.
archive. We're co-creating the next level of the archives that will be becoming a model of evolution that will be helping other planetary systems, star system, places that you have no knowledge of. But there is such an interconnection. If you look at the very vast multiverse grids or creationist grids, you can see that each branch eventually interconnect and how the effect of it. But yet,
Mm.
when you move out of a plane of existence, all of these realities of all of these evolution and all of these synergy no longer exists because you're shifting. And there's many different plane of existence, and I've seen them. And some of the plane of existence, you forget about your physicality, you forget about the integration of polarity, you forget about all of it because you're moving out in a place where that synergy is it's pure omnipotence, omnipresence, omnintelligence. It's all there is all the time. And so I smile at the contemplation of the complexity of all of it playing out. But if I look more here on the planet, to us, and I know for those of you who follow our work, you hear us say that a lot, we are watching the reascending process of a civilization. We're watching the reascension process of a planet and how it is affecting deeply in the multiverse. It is incredible
Mm.
what it really is happening. So yes, you are rediscovering aspect of the true Earth history. You're rediscovering the language of the sacred
Mm.
site. You're rediscovering your own natural innate encoded abilities. So when you talk about the third eye and how you utilize it,
Mm.
I resonate because when I use my third eye, I always
Mm.
tell people or my client, I use my holographic field. It's like a field that opens in
Mm.
front of me and I can see, feel, touch, experience. It's all the sensory point all at once. This is how I utilize my third eye. So
Right.
I like the way you talked about, different stages and how
Mm.
you can integrate all the pineal gland as a lens and all of it. So I want to zoom back again to this fantastic upcoming event called
Okay.
Rise of the Guardians. You're the founder. Can you share a little bit about your vision of the Rise of the Guardians in Sedona coming up this month. And then Jeff in a moment will share on the screen where to sign up, what it looks like. Would like to know your vision behind the Rise of the Guardians. And I love the name. We are rising and the Guardians are coming together. I love this.
Yes, no. The last two big events we did were in Bastrop, Texas, and in outside Austin, where the last two big solar events have made an X over Texas. So our higher selves basically wanted us to hold the light in those locations to make sure that the vibration and the codes that were coming down for everyone were basically received, let's just say, and so they could be shared with others. And the same thing is kind of happening in the Rise of the Guardians conference, because March 29th, there is a solar event or solar eclipse happening. And I just feel like there's something about us as light workers, light beings on this planet, especially when we get together, we share these codes with one another. And a lot of us are here to help accelerate mass consciousness. So it's interesting. As we came together, I felt this vibe. And, I'm kind of chilling, dude. I was like, I live in Sedona. I was like, this is a lot of stress. I don't really want to do. This is a big event, right? This is the Sedona Performing Arts Center is a huge venue. It holds like 750 people. And I was like, all right, well, listen, and I noticed that throughout that year, I kept getting invited and going to, for example, meeting up or picking up different all-stars on the team. I think I went to the Contact at Sea where I met Vivian for the first time. And we picked up Masadi and we picked up Jimmy Church. Right. Yeah. It's like and then I went to a couple other conferences. I forget who else. Disclosure Now conference over in Tampa. And I met, Brian. He's a fantastic producer. But I met Itza. I met Sean Bond. And then I also met Julia Common. And then obviously, from the conferences we did, I met Tony Rodriguez. And, he's bringing JP, who's, has had, I don't know, 50 episodes on exopolitics. He's JP's a military insider who still working with some of the stuff and the real technology that we have access to. So this whole thing kind of came together. I just felt like it was a Marvel team up. I felt like, how do we make, master healers, channelers, real military insiders telling the public the truth? Like, how can we put everyone in one place while a solar event's going on? And then obviously my brother, David Palmer, High Vibe TV, the Leo King, he's one of the best astrologers out there, and he's going to come. He's also a very talented DJ. And we rented out the entire high school, the Performing Arts Center. Then I rented out the gymnasium to throw a huge party on that solar event. It starts at 8:00. And I just wanted everyone there together in their royal outfits. The truth, Vivian and Jeff and everyone listening to me, the truth is, I think that this whole planet, and I believe this financial abundance that we've all been hearing about and talking about, is about to hit, and it's about to hit like an avalanche. So it's our job to get together and meet those brothers and sisters that you're supposed to have met or will meet right at that conference, to actually get organized to assist in helping mass, the humanity, but really mass consciousness. And imagine all of us have the resources to build cities. Imagine all of us have the resources to do R&D, research stuff, to find homeopathic cures for things. Imagine these people that are going to be there are a part of the change. So if you guys are out there going like, I have dreams of doing things in the cities of light, I have dreams of learning new ways to farm or new technologies, I put everyone together for a reason. So I'm trying to say like everything. And like I said, I'm just the messenger. You guys, this isn't Ego, Rigo, Rodrigo. My dudes are like, boy, it is time. Like, I just want you guys, if you guys have higher selves like mine, it is time. And I'm sitting there going like, I don't want to do it. I'd rather go to Maui and go surfing. This is a lot of responsibility, sir. And they're just like, it is time, boy. On March 29th, the stars will align. Get your family up and get them together. So that's kind of like, I was like, okay, I'll do it. Just like I've done my activations since 2000. Gosh, it started 2010, 11. Higher selves ask me to do something. I'm like, all right, dude, let's figure it out. So I am of service. Long story short, I'm here to help this planet. I'm here to help my brothers and sisters, whatever way I can do that. And there's been a lot of, I had no idea, but like at our conferences over these, we used to do all the Cosmic Awakening conferences in Sedona, by the way. We kind of handed that off to one of our friends. But we've been doing conferences for about a decade in Sedona. And we just find that they're very high vibe environments, especially if there's a lot of star seeds or angelics out there that really have a hard time interacting or talking to other people because you guys are at different vibrations or frequencies. There's a lot of introverts. I know I'm an introvert. I don't like really interacting with the public. So what do I like to do is go to certain events where I can hang out with people just like me, who are highly intelligent, super empathic, enjoy high vibe people, enjoy high vibe environments. Like there's no alcohol on site, organic food. You know what I mean? We like to keep things high vibe, and we like to come together as one. So I just, for all those that have been going through and feel like they're graduated the physical, like you graduated 3D, yes, come hang out with your family. Come hang out with the fellow graduates of Earth School. And that's where we're going to be March 29th, March 30th. You guys can get your tickets at teamlightstore.com. And Jean-Pierre Moyen, who's, secret space program in France, he's going to be there at the post conference. He just stepped up. So Jean-Pierre is going to be there as well. This is a global thing. People flying in from France, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, UK, the States, Canada, Mexico, South America, goodness gracious, Hawaii, and then we got some Japan as well. The whole world's kind of showing up that know what's up. So if you guys are feeling that calling, like where am I supposed to be for this, this great transition that's upon us, and where am I supposed to meet my friends that I'm going to help do these big projects with, come to the event. We made it as easy and rad and dope as we could possibly do it. It's like we're all going to be there. We're all together. And there's a lot of really talented people that are going to be there. I'm just one of them, ladies and gentlemen. I am just, hey, my name's Rion. I can see with my third eye. Vivian's going to be there. Peter's going to be there. I mean, like you got to understand, man, there's a lot of really talented people that are going to be there, and they're all good at what they do. And that's what a team is. People need to start remembering what a team is. We're not all good at the same thing. Okay. I have good eyes. You know what I mean? Vivian has got the channeling, the talking to Arcturians, the downloads. Jeff, you've got mad skills. You got like hieroglyphs behind you, Jeff. I don't know, but if you can read those, that's impressive. No, I'm just saying we all have different.
I can.
I know you can. That's what I'm saying. We all have different gifts. So how do we really affect the planet Earth? We all got to come together and share our gifts. Even if the teachers just come together and share your gifts. It doesn't have to be about, how about all the teachers that are on stage come together and do this? Every single thing we do accelerates the entire planet. And when you start really realizing that, like, oh shit, that's what you guys are doing. You're like, yeah, bruh. We're accelerating the entire frequency wave across a planet that we're walking around on, right? And we're inviting the whole planet for your upgrades. So that's what we're doing here at Rise of the Guardians, and we're doing this for planet Earth. So that's how I feel about it.
Team, together, everybody achieves more.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Well, speaking of teams, some people have been asking, Rion, is it an in person only, or is there going to be a live stream?
Okay, so we will be filming the conference on March 29th and March 30th and the post conference. We'll be filming it. It'll probably be available the following week for digital download. I like to, I have a film background, so I like to edit film, add certain graphics when I can and, assist with that stuff. So yeah, that digital download will be available the following week.
Vivian 10 for $10. Exactly.
And Vivian 10 for $10 off using Vivian's coupon code, teamlightstore.com. Vivian 10.
Yeah.
Vivian. Write that down.
Hey, Vivian 10. Jeff, just come. I'll put you on the list. I don't want to hear, your higher self's like, he's got excuses. And I'm like, listen, I know we all got them. Believe me. I you know what I mean? I would rather be, doing a lot of things. But Jeff, just come. You're comped. Your name will be on the list. If you can show up, that'd be awesome. Because I'd love to meet you. And I really, here's the thing too, for all the people showing up, there's some really rad, old, powerful beings that I know that are my personal friends that are going to be in that audience with you. There's a lot of very powerful beings out there, Vivian. You know this. They're not on camera. They're like, no, 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 no. No, I sit in the back. I monitor. I'm a real deal. I'm here to observe and make sure you guys are all good, almost like an elder or a parent or a grandparent. Those beings will be sitting in the audience next to you. So I'm just happen to be one that actually got on camera to go, hey, this is really going to be a cool thing. We put a really nice thing together for you guys. So it makes it really cool to come together. So we kind of created an event on us coming together. So
Very, very good. This is exciting. And I remember when we connected, we were on on the ship, a cruise ship,
mm-hmm.
and on the way to Alaska. And I remember because your booth was next to Peter's table, my husband. And then you look at me and you go, "Hey, you want to go speak at my conference in March?" I'm going, "No, I didn't know anything about it." Yes, I'll
Dude,
be there.
I'm like I'm just Origato, Mr. Roboto. I feel that my highest is like, son, her. I'm like, hi, how are you? It is time. I feel like I'm some sort of like a galactic alarm clock. I'm like, you're being tapped on the shoulder now for, you know what I mean? So, and that's how I feel because I feel like all my friends are really my family. And there is a lot of stuff that I've gone through personally, and we all do, as we grow and activate your dormant DNA and, clear all your past life stuff, but also, the stuff that you've experienced in this life. And if there's anything I can say to help assist people going through similar stuff or share some insights that were kind of, work for me, especially in these subjects. I mean, the third eye thing is such a fascinating topic. And so is your channeling, your throat chakra, or, people really real powerful healers that are actually using their energy hands to reach into people and heal them. Right. These are just fascinating things that I really find to be paramount right now in us remembering who we truly are. Every single human being on this planet should know how their body operates, should know how to use their energy body. These are things we should have learned at 6 years old. This
Oh,
is the
yeah.
stuff they purposely hid from you because if you knew how to do this stuff, you would never need a pharmaceutical. You'd never need to go to the doc. I mean, it's crazy. If you really knew how powerful your energy was and how to use these human suits, we'd probably be living a lot longer as well. It's just there's a lot of things that this whole thing is unraveling now, but the power of the human spirit and our soul and the light that we carry is very, very powerful. That's why so many beings fight over it. So many species fight over control of this planet because of how powerful and beautiful our light is, especially together.
It really is. There's what's called a living aura. This is how we see that. When you look at the Earth humans,
Mm-hmm.
there's a living aura or a radiance, a light that human beings emanate. Now that light or that emanation, has been told that it's reserved for the saint or the holy ones, or
Mm-hmm.
if you've done, 40 days, 40 nights of pilgrim in the desert and you've been meditating and been worthy of it. But in reality, it's the opposite. It's because of who you are. Same thing with worthiness or self-worth. There's no need to feel, am I worthy or do I need to earn self-worth? We always say self-worth is implied because of who you are. So it's that reversal of that thought system that you've been told, or human beings overall has been told, through either old structures, whether it's to the false time reality, whether it's education, whether it's rule regulation, that you have to earn yourself all the way up instead of going deep and re-understanding your own magnificence.
Mm-hmm.
And the gift, like what you said earlier, everyone has their gifts, their abilities. So we talk about putting together an event, whether it's bringing speakers, people, and connecting with each other. I know personally, as I'm evolving and blending in, I'm integrating more my intergalactic self, my Octarian self of who I am. I'm going to be more selective of where I bring my presence to, who I want to be connecting with.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing is that we're here to be of service. We're here to, on behalf of a planet, We're here to bring reunification, sovereignties, helping to remembering or helping the remembrance of who we are and that awakening. The last thing I want to do is go to a conference, then I've been told, oh, go to the high school in the little classroom. This is where you deserve to be. This is your place. The big stage is reserved for, the big names, my friends, or those I values. And or going to conferences that they said it's spiritual awakening or consciousness, but it's a big melting pot of everything and it creates more confusion. That's the old model. We have to
Yes.
release ourselves from this. And I feel this is part of the movement of the higher timeline. And
Right.
that's what I feel when you're talking to.
Mhm.
Jeff, my friend, thought, comments, questions from our wonderful guest today, Rion.
No, I just everything is going good. I do have a off question for you. When you did your travels, did you run across any portals or anything or
Yep.
Stargate?
Yeah. So, okay. So the Stargate of Amun Maru. You
Mhm.
want to get there. Usually you show up there. You got to take a taxi because no car will wait for you. So you get a taxi out there, the Stargate Amun Maru, and then you got to kind of wait till there's a little dude that hangs out there. You got to pay him some money, and he leaves you alone. And you really want to be at that gate. And for me personally, like I said, my third eye is really cranking at night. I had to wait till like almost everyone was like gone and it was nighttime, and then that whole place illuminated for me. And that's in Bolivia, right? Yeah, Bolivia. What else is cool? There's a when we did there's a gate under the pyramid of Bosnia when I was climbing in there. I don't know, gosh, 2000 something. Down one of those shafts, there's a gate under there. I don't know if they've excavated it yet, but I could see it. Where else? Top of Machu Picchu. So you hike to the top of Machu Picchu. You sign in at the hut. Then you take the 2 hour hike to the top of Machu Picchu, which is the top mountain on the right. You see in the pictures. You go up there, go to the other grass hut, and then if you look southwest, 300 feet in the air, there's a gate on and off world. And that's actually a really powerful place to actually swap out some of your higher selves that aren't doing their job. Personally, I have fired 3 higher selves in this incarnation because there are aspects in your deck of cards that you were born with that are actually slowing you down. Evolution is a chain reaction. So if we're in the physical in 3, and I'm trying to go from 3 to 5, well, check this out. And your 4D is supposed to go. Well, there's a chart I can share, but what I'm trying to explain is your 4D actually jumps to 6. We're going to 5, right? So light side polarity, you jump 3 to 5D. Night side polarity, you jump from 4 to 60. Well, the issue is that if you're trying to make a jump and one of your aspects won't go to ascension school, won't assist you, always trying to take from you. It's like having a lot of 4D beings on this planet are spoiled. They're spoiled, first and foremost, like spoiled brats, to be honest with you, that have your credit card and the currency is your energy. So instead of them working on themselves, they'll swipe that gold American Express card and pay for their party, their reality on your energy while you can barely move down here in the physical. Once you guys can actually see what's going on around you, this whole world actually makes a lot more sense. It's not more confusing. It's just, as they say, as above, so below. You start to see the attachments and how they pull energy, because energy is the true currency in the universe. It's energy. It's not this fake money magic. It's energy is the currency, right? So yeah, and time, man, and energy and time. Those are the 2 things I think are cost the most. So those would be 3 really cool stargates. I would recommend, Jeff.
The other question is that these pyramids, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Um, how far down do you think they go? Are they just like the tips of a obelisk that is buried, or do they start from way down below and build it up?
I think the original ones were probably maybe as high as they are going into the ground. I mean, whatever civilization actually built them properly. I don't know about the ones that were built from the civilizations after the fact. What I mean? If
Mm-hmm.
you're an engineer, okay, you're going to work with the sacred geometry of that shape. So whatever that is, that sacred geometry is, say it's a pyramid, is it's that Giza is 8-sided. It's not 4-sided. You know that
Right.
when
Yeah.
the shadow hits. So is there that much mass going down into the ground? You know what I mean? How
Somebody's got to
deep?
hold it, and
That's what I'm trying to say. So I think when you're talking about the older species that worked here on the planet, I would actually stick directly to what the sacred geometry would be, and that's probably what it's going to be. Now, some of the civilizations that came after that fact, might have been just trying to copy what the older civilization did. So maybe they cut some corners and it looks like a bunch of teenagers built it, right?
yes,
So that I think the same thing would be, relevant to that stuff working, especially the pyramids.
interesting, cool.
Okay, well that's amazing. There's a few questions from the audience for you, Rion, if you allow me. You spark a lot of interest when talk about higher self. Shirley is
I
asking,
know. I know.
how did you swamp out your higher self?
Okay. Well. All right. So, I don't know if I have my dimensional template here, but I could show you. I'll do it in a second. Okay. Well, I can. You guys can go to. I think it's at teamlightstore.com. You can click on sessions and then click on notes, and you guys can all download it for free. But the dimensional template, it'll help explain kind of what I'm discussing now in a visual way. But since my third eye came on and I started doing activations, I started to see and work with my team of my higher selves personally. I got to know each of their names. I got to know which species they were. I got to know where they were from. And I got to know really quickly what they were good at. A lot of the first 5 years of my life, I mean, since I woke up in '09, I was doing a lot of battling, training and battling, a lot of clearing things. In that way, I noticed when we were doing big activations, I could tell on my stream which one of my higher selves wasn't doing shit, was just watching. Okay. The first higher self I fired, funny enough, was on my left side, on my light side. And the reason why he was fired was because he had 6 other vessels in the game. I was one of 6 he was monitoring. And I needed more attention and more energy specifically from him to do my job. So I fired him. So people need to also realize in the upper dimensions, your higher selves may have 6 vessels in the game. They may have more than just you in this game. And not to it's like I'm saying too much already. Okay, I'll calm down. What I'm trying to say is that, yeah, your higher selves may have more versions of you or physical vessels in the game, especially upper dimensional beings. Second dude, it's usually on your night side, on your right side. It's usually the Debbie Downer. Don't do that. You know, it could be your 4D, let's just say. Your 4D, your closest night side, your lowest night side, right side, the one that's closest to you. Usually they're kind of a jackass or they're spoiled, but then again, it depends on what your mission is and what your job is here to do. For me, my job kind of pushed a higher elevation of what I required from my higher selves. Hence, each of them had to work on their own reality and upgrade in their own dimension to be able to keep pace. You know, imagine you guys are the golden children, the boys and girls, ladies and gents out there. You guys are the golden kids. Well, we're in the basement and I kept slamming the ceiling. Like, move your ass, you're in my seat. Move my ass, you're in, your ass, you're in my seat. So imagine being, I like to call it undercover boss. Imagine being an older version of yourself, which is older than your higher selves, incarnates and opens his eyes at some point during the DNA activation and starts looking at everything from underneath. And that's why I say some of us are actually undercover boss. Or you actually may be the older version of yourself, or much older, maybe 9D angelic and above, who actually chose to come down. And at a certain point in time, I'll take the reins in the physical and take a look at what's really going on down there. And I think in the physical plane, especially in 3 and 4D and even into 5D, I know that I feel that us being here to protect the 5th dimension from some of that AI stuff and the negative stuff that was trying to creep into the 5th dimension, we kind of came up down here into the physical to shut that down. We're like, you're not taking this weird nano polarity shit above out of this place. So we came down here to support the light and to balance the physical plane. And like I said, many people think we're already in 4D. I'm kind of 4th density. I kind of feel that. I don't think we're in the same place we were 10, 20 years ago. I think that we may be in 4th density right now. And we just don't recognize it because we're all doing it together. So that's a very loaded question, Vivian, and that takes a lot of time to break down. That takes years. When I say that casually, it wasn't. It was about 12, 13 years of hard work, and where basically your higher selves have to adjust. If you keep showing up on time, listening to your highest light, let's just say, you keep getting on that airplane, you keep showing up on time, you keep transporting souls, you keep doing your job, you keep putting your best foot forward, they have to shift because you're outperforming them. And that's the gnarliest thing about it. You're outperforming aspects within your soul. And it's either you guys either assist or step out of the way. Assist or step out of the way. So do
Right.
that for 15 years straight.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Thank
And
you.
all of a sudden, they start backing up and getting out of your way because they're like, oh, you're here for a different purpose. This isn't some normal, I'm just here to hang out and go through a normal evolution. Many of us have already had an ascension that are assisting on this planet. I know you have. This isn't your first ascension, Vivian or Jeff. This isn't the first time you've been, I'm going to do it. It's just some of us are down here because we may have ascended on a different planet. It doesn't say we did it on Earth. Maybe we did it on a planet in Arcturus. Maybe we did it on a planet in Andromeda or in the Pleiades, right? But we're here right now to assist this specific planet to do it here in the physical on Earth. That's how I feel, at least. Like I said, that's my opinion.
Right. No, and thank you so much for sharing your opinion. We love it. So just to make it a very quick summary and very clear mainstream for everyone, because there's a lot of, again, movement in the chat room. So when you refer to your higher selves in the
Yes.
plural form, are you referring to different soul aspect? Or what is your understanding of this
Lover,
these
I got to pull it up because, like I said, it's not words. It's like a studious. It's like get out your book. Here, let me pull this up for you guys, and I'll share the screen. It's more than just words. You have to see the graph and the chart. Stand by.
we're standing by, everyone?
Yeah. I wish it was. It's like I try to explain it. You're like, huh? You have to see it, and you'll go, oh, got it. Hold on a second.
But basically, the higher self, you're talking about soul aspect of yourself, right?
Yeah, but basically, there's a version of yourself in every dimension, right? Going vertical, right? This is what I look like in this density. That's what Jeff and you look like in, say, let's call it 3.5 density, 3D, right? As you keep going up floors, as you keep going into higher versions of yourself, we look different. I need the multidimensional template. Stand by. So yeah, let me see if I can do this quickly. Yeah, so that's what we look like in this dimension. But like I said, and as you go up in dimension and you're less dense, you have different looks. You could look way more Arcturian than you do down here. We're wearing these specific suits. Okay, multidimensional.
Definitely looking more
I'm trying to see if
Arcturian.
Jeff can pull it up too. I think it's in my session notes. Let me see.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see because I want to help her because people. This is great. I mean, there's no rush, but it would be nice if I could see this. Are you here? Okay.
Hi,
Sorry.
everyone. All day here on the Infinite Star Connection podcast, everyone.
Sorry, I hit the button and I was like, "Hey, need assistance." All right,
No
start me.
worries. It was just, I just wanted to bring that so we can, people can have a perspective that says, but when you said different version of yourself in different
Got it. I got
dimensions.
it right here. On Shift Command 4. No, if you guys are first time seeing me, you guys should know this chart and you should kind of realize. So here's a screenshot. All right, let me go ahead and grab this. And if I can grab it into the chat, let me see here. Yeah, because it's a very deep subject here. I'm going to grab this image so I can add it to the chat. Well, let me add it to the chat. Hold on a second. Present. Here we go.
Open this. Present and select your thing.
You got it. Let me present and image file. Boom. Okay. Screenshot. Boom. Got it. And open. Okay. And I'll break this whole thing down for you. Is it okay? And is it there? Hold on. It's there, Jeff. Do I have to click on it or do you? Can you? Let me see.
I will.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So yes, this is way easier. Okay. So yeah, it's hard to just talk in words. Okay. So highest light is on the top left-hand side for you. Highest light. Earth Alliance, Lyran Empire. Okay. We're talking about a 24D and above being. Okay. Your highest night is on the top right-hand side of your stack. So see that little 3D little dot right there on the bottom? Okay. That's your sternum in the physical. That's where your soul sits inside of your body. Every single human being on this planet, your soul sits on the backside of that sternum. So imagine that. And there's two cables going up, one through your left, up through the left side of your body up into the sky, one going through your right shoulder blade up into the sky. This is the stuff that most people or humans can't see unless they have a certain level of their third eye activated. So when I say 4D lowest night form, I mean the closest dimension to us. That's why all this weird shit can whisper in your ear, because the fourth dimension is the closest to the third. And that's your lowest night form. And yeah, that's where the reptilians, the vampires, and the night crawlers hang out. Okay? Now, you go up a floor and go up to the left, your lowest light form. Okay? I like to call it Palladian land. And I say with these different on this chart, the reason why I call it Syrian land or Anunnaki land or Andromedan land is because that's just a reflection of the type of beings that exist in those dimensions. That's where they like to chill. Okay. So 5D is your lowest light form. That's your heart side. That's where your heart resides. Left side, heart side, angelic side, receiving side. Okay. So most humans right now, their 4Ds are trying to make the 4D to 6D jump. So your bad boy or bad girl version, right? In this Phantom Matrix, for them to also make an ascension, they got to jump from 4D to 6D. Okay. The issue with that and why it slows us down in the physical is because if your 4D on your right side is not in ascension school, they will not make the 6D jump. Okay. You're not going to go from a domestic human pretending you're a vampire to 6D where you're a Starfleet command in the Syrian Empire. It's way too much of studious work. Your brain cannot handle the neural load. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't go from domestic to international spacefaring unless you go to school. Okay, that's why they call it Ascension School. And that's on the night side polarity, ladies and gentlemen. I am both. I'm just trying to explain to you. If you are more night side, I love you, but also know that you need to work on Ascension School stuff to get to 6D. Okay, 5D, lowest light form Palladian land, 5D. A lot of you guys, when you talk about angelics, they're not in 5, they're in 7. Okay, that's the angelic, Palladian, Andromedan. 7D is kind of the bottom floor for me for the angelics, and I call those the two wingers. Okay, two wing, like an angelic that you see in storybooks, two wings. Now you're talking about full blown seraphim, you're talking about 9D. Okay, 9D and up is for where the 6 warrior angels exist, 6 wings, the 6 wingers. And you guys can just take a look at that chart. If you guys are watching live, just go ahead and take a screenshot. That's what I mean by when I'm talking about the multidimensional template. I had to know each one of these characters. Now, listen, this is my cheat sheet that I made over 15 years. This is out of no book. When I was doing activations around the planet, I had to know this fast. Are you salt, left-hand side, or are you pepper? You service to others, you service to self. I had to know who you were that fast because I'm doing shit on the ground and we're battling things, closing portals, opening doors. I didn't have all these books. I had to know right now. So this is actually my cheat sheet, which you guys are looking at right now. I don't know right now who you are, who do you serve, service to light, service to others. Are you part of which alliance? Are you, I'd like to say Earth Alliance, but that would be more like Federation of Worlds that Danon talks about. But in the highest night, you would have Federation and Orion Empire, service to self. And I hope that answers some of your questions, Vivian. Because like I said, that question was, like, what does it look like? I'm like, I need a chart to explain it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
You can't
Thank
just
you
talk
very
that
much.
out. People need to see, oh, there's a chart. Got it. So
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, Rion, for this visual. Thank you for your beautiful perspective. I love the way you have chosen to be of service, how you chose, how the service is flowing through you. Um, we have just about 12 minutes left, just about. I
okay.
want to talk a little bit about what you do. All these beautiful, powerful technology right next to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I make tools to activate your third eye. I make tools to protect your space when you're sleeping from low energies. I make things to grid your home, and I make big pyramids you guys can sleep in or meditate. This is a capstone. Okay, so this goes up on poles, and I have custom feet. I have ones that go up 9 feet in the air. I have ones that go up 12 feet in the air. These are for, I call this morning coffee. I meditate in these. This is a Nubian capstone. You can find those at teamlightstore.com under, I don't know, pyramids, or just keep clicking. Teamlightstore.com is insane. There's so many things on there. These are both PEMF devices. So these actually have large coils inside that we have an app that you can download from the Apple Store. It's just called Team Light, no space. And there's a PEMF app in there. There's links to our private content. There's even a frequency generator, so you guys can put on any frequency you want and play it through our devices. This is called the Turtle. Oh, it's kind of, the cord is on this one. This is the Turtle, and there's also the XL Turtle. This is a custom design. We 3D CAD programmed this and then printed it and created it. You can't get this anywhere on Earth. We made this from scratch. The bed set, the Giza bed sets. If anyone's starting to wake up and you want to like hit the nitrous, go on teamlightstore.com, buy the bed set, the Giza bed set. So, and what you do is with that bed set, it's a small pyramid and it has 4 corner pieces. You put the corner pieces, one under each corner of the bed. The Giza bed set goes underneath your upper back, aligned with your spine. It has a grounding cable. The grounding cable then gets plugged into the house ground. So, and that's underneath your bed while you're sleeping, mind you. Okay. And the pyramid energy from the pyramid's actually running through the house now because we're using the magnetism from the house to power the pyramid, which is helping to push your energy body up and help you remember your dreams. Those are really cool. We have plates to protect you guys from 5G and the smart meters. I make plates that are like this, but even bigger. And I'll have a hook on the back. So if you guys have a smart meter on your house, basically like on the opposite side of where the smart meter is, inside the garage, make a little hook, and you basically just hang this thing on the inside wall of the smart meter. So when that signal goes off at 3 a.m, that cuts your DNA, which they don't talk about, at 3 a.m, it'll bounce it back. What else? All kinds of really cool stuff, and we have some new prototypes. We have a new icosahedron pyramid that we're working on too right now, and also an icosahedron, a Nubian equilateral, and I don't know, it's insane. Vivian, it's like asking Peter, all the stones in his pendants. Like it was a lot. Yeah.
Just
Peter's stuff
one.
is insane. Yeah.
There's just so many, and then with the stone from the portal, I know what you mean. And that's just why you and Peter are such in synergy, because what you do with each other, it's just so much. There's such a vibrancy, frequency, and exchange. Everyone, if you missed some of the names, no worries. All the links, if you look at today's episode, look at the description. All the links you need are listed there. There's no need to read everything. Enjoy the energy, enjoy the presence. Links, everything there in the description. So it will be perfect this way. Team Light, yes. And just curiosity, how the name Team Light came about for you? I like that. Team Light. How did it came?
Well, we're Unite the Collective on YouTube, but Team Light, it became available. I was very lucky, but Team Light, I always thought that I would always work. And since I woke up, I've always been on a team. And I believe that Team Light, if you're basically a member of Team Light, as long as you're a light worker, light warrior, light being here to serve humanity with the highest intent, and do that for the benefit of all, then you are a member of Team Light. We're really just heart-based beings that are here to assist and protect ourselves and to grow together. But really, we just have that Christ at heart, and we're here on mission to assist this planet. Yeah.
Beautifully said. I mean, it's just look how the richness of this time together. Jeff, do you have a few last words? Maybe some things you would like to exchange with Rion before we wrap up our phenomenal time together today?
Oh my God! I mean, we could talk for
Yeah.
hours. 'Cause we kind of believe in the same things, So,
Yeah.
um, I don't even know where to start because we only got like 5 minutes left, But no, good man. It's good to hear from you. It's good to see you, and
Well, I hope to see you, Jeff. Hey, baby.
you got to
Hey,
give me
hey.
I'll be out there.
Hey, 3 weeks.
I don't know if I can make it in person.
We'll
but
try. Yeah, but regardless, I'll make sure you guys can get a digital copy through Vivian. So of
Yeah, no problem.
That is very generous of you, Rion. Jeff
course.
is such a beautiful person and soul, and I know there's going to be so much more. Jeff, my friend, remember, it's a big reset. Your time is here. There's going to be a lot of opportunity. I know that Shauna, you, Rion, Peter, and I, we've been talking when we were briefly at the Tucson Gem Show
Mhm.
a few weeks ago. We were talking about doing more events and how we can be of service, and
Mhm.
especially in the response of the movement going on. We want to be, we don't want boots on the ground. We really want to create more conscious, united opportunities to come together and unite the planet. And same thing when we do, and for some of you watching or part of our universal consciousness community with the Octurians, when we do retreats, it's the whole planet coming together. And the same opportunity coming up for March 28th, 29th, 30th for the Rise of the Guardians. If for some reason physically you're unable to be there, just send the intention that in your light body consciousness, your heart energy that you hear, and plus, like Rion mentioned, there will be a digital version available later on. So that's a big yes about having this digital version that will be available after the conference when Rion had time to edit, create a beautiful, visual, all of it. Then it will be announced. I will announce it. Our community will make announcement, on also website, everything. So it will be very clearly uh, announced. So there's no need to worry. We bring everybody. It's about
Mhm.
it's a time of unification. Speaking of which, I want to say briefly that we have two amazing guests coming up next time on Sunday, March 23rd. Now, everybody, the time zone is shifting, so to let you know, and moving forward, daylight saving is coming up on March 9, 2025. We're going to move our clocks. And so when we reconvene here on the Infinite Star Connection podcast on
Mhm.
Sunday, March 23rd, it's going to be 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. So we're changing time. Just be mindful of those of you who are international, looking to see when your time or your summertime start to get effective. But here in the US and Canada is as of March 9th. So next time we see each other on the 23rd, it will be in Pacific time, even though Arizona, we don't change our clock, but
No, yeah.
it's
Everyone
a new
changes but us. We're just kind of like whatever. That's what time it is.
label.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have two amazing guests, AJ Kavanan and Tom Workman. They are the owner of Speaking from Source, and they are also the channeler of a beautiful collective of intelligence known as the Guides. And they're personal friends of mine. They're two amazing souls, gentle souls. You're gonna love AJ and Tom. They're coming on the 23rd of March at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Easter time. But for today, Rion, you've been shining the house, radiating your light
Hey,
different.
we're all one big family, dude. So this is one big angelic hug from one brother to another. Jeff, Vivian, it's been an absolute pleasure. Everyone on Earth, I love you guys, and this is just the beginning. And I just want you guys to really buckle up. Like, no, this is the beginning. This is not the end. This is the very beginning of this wave of excellence, and the golden age is going to start. And I can't wait to work with you guys. So it's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, absolutely. And Jeff, my friend, would you agree with me that it's a must that Rion must come back, right? You need to come back.
Yeah, actually, I would like to have him come back after the conference because I would keep an eye out for any ETs that will show up at your conference.
Hey, I
Well, I'll
wouldn't
be
be
there.
surprised.
I
I'll
wouldn't be
be there.
surprised either.
Wouldn't be surprised at all.
Well, I'm gonna be there, so of course it's gonna be an ET on site, so
Well,
that's gonna be super.
you know what I'm talking about.
I
He'll be
know,
in
I
the
know.
back. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be amazing. We can really go into depth and we're doing now a pre-conference and we're going to do a post-conference and
Mm.
talk about what transpired, the feel, the energy, the connection. I'm getting a lot of yeses in the chat room.
Cool.
Please come back
Thank you.
soon. Yes, bring Rion back. Yeses.
Yes.
So that Yeah, everybody in the heart
Just say
energy.
yes. No, I know. I feel like I'm yes man. Hey, I would love to come back. I love you guys. All right. I'm gonna
Good.
punch out. Peace.
Thank
Love
you
you
so
guys.
much. Thank you so much again, Rion. Jeff, my friend, always a pleasure. On behalf of everyone at the Infinite Star Connection podcast, we love you. We hold you in the highest light. Thank you. And we're going to see you next time for another amazing journey. Stay in your light, everyone.